our country, a lot of employment opportunities are emerging every year in the banking sector. Academically brilliant students, whether they choose arts and science or engineering or commerce, they look at banking as a career, as an attractive and safe career. There is a lot of demand for the banking opportunities, and every year thousands of vacancies both in the clerical and officer cadre emerge in the banking sector. Public sector banks as well as private sector banks offer employment opportunities. Major attraction in this segment is that the recruitment processes are transparent and honest. No hanky-panky is complained of in the recruitment. There are recruitment agencies like IBPS, Banking Recruitment Board, etc. for selecting candidates. Now, people aspiring for a bank job should know the opportunities await them in the banking sector. I myself am a retired bank officer. I have joined the State Bank of India as a probationary officer in the year 1971. In those days, number of vacancies was limited. In fact, I remember when I joined the bank, the total probationary officer vacancies were just about 100, and not more than a dozen people qualify for that position from our state in those days. And a major difference which I noticed in the recruitment process was only people with good academic credentials, very high academic credentials used to be selected in the banking industry. There used to be no coaching centers, there used to be no training centers for banking jobs. Whereas today what we find is that the number of vacancies have increased leaps and bounds. I remember in the year 2013 when I had the opportunity to look at very closely the vacancy position. The IBPS vacancies were around 24,000 for officers for all the banks connected with IBPS. So that is the number of vacancies available in the banking sector for aspiring candidates. That being the case, the role of coaching centers has also become very valuable and very huge. ICD KOLLAM is a coaching center for bank recruitment for more than 27 years now, I suppose. I had the great fortune to be associated with ICD from its very inception. And now I understand over the years ICD has helped more than 12,000 people to secure employment, not only in the banks, in other public sector and private sector and government sector organizations, and also in the government. I will not go very deep into the training methodology adopted by ICD. I know they have residential facilities, they have excellent people to train the candidates, they have technology support of the highest standard in extending training. They give motivational and instructional assistance to the candidates. not only in securing an employment, but also in developing their personality per se. So, if you join ICD, it is like engaging a good lawyer to argue your case in a court of law. That guarantees your success. If you have a good lawyer to argue your case, maybe in our, your success is almost guaranteed. It is almost as good as engaging a good lawyer that you join ICD for an employment opportunity. It is, I can say out of experience, it is more or less guaranteed. One way or the other, you will end up securing an employment. But let me focus on this occasion more on the banking opportunities. You can join a bank either as an assistant or as an officer. There are separate tests for both the categories. For officer recruitment, you qualify the prelims, then you prepare for the finals, and once you qualify in the final written examination, then you are called for the interview, and then you go through the interview process. And finally, if you are selected, then you join the bank. Bank opportunities in the bank for an officer's recruit are very high and very varied. In fact, I think there is hardly any other job opportunity which gives you such varied experience as that you experience in a bank. Because almost all banks are all India banks. Why all India? Most of them are global banks. So, ipso facto, at the very enrollment, you have these prospects before you that you can be working not only in India, you can also work abroad if the opportunity comes to you. So that is an opportunity which is available for bank recruits only. If you join other organizations which are mostly India based, your opportunity to go abroad as part of your employment is limited, very limited. Whereas in the bank, deserving candidates have vast opportunities to work abroad also. And coming to India, most of the large public sector banks have their head offices, their administrative offices. They will have local administrative offices, no doubt about it, but most of the banks have their central offices located outside Kerala. They are all India banks. Most of them have their central offices in Mumbai, a few have their central offices in Calcutta, and a few have their offices in Chennai. So, once you join the bank, once you become a middle management officer, from that level itself, your chances of working in the central offices are very high. So, if you are a person interested to see India, to travel in India, to find out the soul of India, then no better opportunity than a banking career is available for that. In fact, you should perceive the banking profession not only as a career in transactions, it is a career in the nation building activity, according to me. Because all of us talk about, dreaming for a future. And all of us know that unless you have a dream, you will not reach anywhere. If you have a dream, then you will find out the means to achieve your dream. That we all know. But then, for people to achieve their dreams, the most important barrier in achieving that is the lack of resources. Unless you have the resources to back up your dream, you cannot realize that. So today, what makes success in life? How do you realize yourself? You have an idea. If you have an idea, you conceptualize and then you actualize that idea. And to achieve that actualization, you need financial support. Who can give you that financial support? Commercial banks only can give you that financial support at affordable terms. And that is the relevance of banking industry in the nation building activity. Today, politically also we find that Make in India is the single most important concept the central government of the present times is advocating. So, Make in India is a slogan, is a catchword for the whole world. So, Make in India will become a reality, only banks also support that initiative. So, the prospects before the banks are immense in the current scenario. So, a job in the bank is far beyond a counter work. It is not just completing daily transactions. It is actually a noble task of building this nation, actualizing and achieving the dreams of people in this country. So, one should aspire for the bank job to partake in the nation building activity. That is my vision about the bank's job. So, anyone who is joining the bank should have this larger vision about the bank's job. Then only it becomes an enjoyment, then only it becomes an achievement, then only it becomes an honor for the nation. So, having said about the bank's job and its prospects like that, in a visionary sense, it is an excellent job, no doubt about it, unparalleled as compared to many other jobs. So, people should aspire, not only aspire for the banking career, they should work really hard for the banking career. Then I talked about the selection process, the recruitment process. Why so much of trust and reliance on the bank recruitment? Because it is outside all hanky-panky in the recruitment. Nobody can secure a bank job by giving money to somebody, or by pulling strings here and there, or by using your political influence. I don't think anybody can secure a bank job adopting those practices. Bank job is a job which comes to you on your merit. You prepare hard for the exam, you work hard, you seek the help of a coaching center like ICD, work hard, apply yourself, be dedicated, be focused, be sustained in your work. It's not a patchwork which can get you the job. You can't get it in a week's time. You have to work hard. You have to work hard for minimum 6 months' time, according to me. Sometimes it may take even longer than that. But by working hard with a consistent academic record, I am very sure you must be able to secure the bank's job. Now, once you complete the test and get qualified for the interview, then that is another activity where you have to focus, where you need help and support. In fact, interview is an exercise to display your communication skills, to display your capacity to understand concepts. It is an opportunity to reveal your potential. An interview is not only to assess your present day quality, your qualification, it is also an exercise to measure your potential. How good you are for future promotions, how good you are for greater opportunities that can be offered to you. So, the interview decides, interview gives a peep into your potential also. They will assess that. So, interview, one should take an interview like the written test also very seriously. Written test, it is working hard, it is applying yourself, it is understanding things, it is practicing. I would say for interview also, these things do matter. Preparing hard and practicing hard is very much necessary for the interview also. One may think, after all, it's a 10-minute exercise, it is a 15-minute exercise, it is a question answer session. Why should I prepare so hard? Why should I practice so hard? No, it's not like that. As I said, interview is a process to ascertain your present day ability, your skill sets, but also to evaluate your potential and your preparedness and your capacity and your willingness to learn further. Unless you are willing to learn, unless you are willing to learn new things, unless you are capable of adapting to changes, your potential will be assessed as poor only. So, preparation and practice is as much important in an interview as it is important for the written test. There are a lot of tips available for attending an interview. There are many tips. There are useful tools available, useful information available. Even if one Googles, he can find out a set of tips for an interview. But I think the most important tip I can give for an interview is self-practice. In fact, once we are selected or we are called for an interview, we know which organization is calling us for an interview. We are appearing for the interview for the post of probationary officer in State Bank of India, suppose. So, we know that, we know which office, which position we are appearing for the interview. Then it is our need, it's our duty, it's our effort to find out more and more about State Bank of India, more and more about the officer responsibilities in State Bank of India, more and more about the perceived qualities for an officer in State Bank of India. So, we should try to accumulate those qualities, we should try to assimilate knowledge about the organization, and then we should try to imagine ourselves in that position that should form part of our preparation. Then you should know how I will be an officer in State Bank of India. So, when you appear for the interview, the board will ask you, the board will try to find out how good this man will be as a State Bank of India officer. If you have prepared yourself mentally, if you have asked a few questions yourself mentally, if you have ascertained some information about it already, then that will help us. So, preparation and practice is something very important. You should prepare and you should practice. And practice is, according to me, self-practice. Self-practice is that you mentally visualize things. Once you gather some material about a particular officer, particular institution, or a particular situation, or a particular subject, you prepare a few questions. You visualize a few questions on that topic, and then when you are alone, while you are in a room sitting alone, or while you are lying down, or while before you sleep, when you are lying on your bed, you visualize yourself in the interview board and ask these questions and try to answer them. When you mentally answer them, don't like an interview board, you should answer the questions in complete sentences. You should visualize yourself sitting in the interview room, answering that question, and complete your answers in full sentences, even if it is a mental exercise. Once you do that, I am very sure you will feel far more confident when you appear for the interview. This is what I mean by preparation and practice for the interview. Second thing is your presence in the interview room before the interview board. All of us know you must be presentable, you must be formally dressed, you must be comfortable in your dress and appearance. That's more important. Rather than being formal in your dress, I would say be formal and also be comfortable. Wear apparels which are comfortable for you. Wear a dress which makes you presentable before a board. Once you do that, you will feel very confident when you enter the room. And once you enter the room, you know how you should enter. You should seek the permission. You should, may I come in, sir? We should ask in a clear and loud voice. We should not be submissive while addressing the board. And once they are permitted, you will enter the room and then you occupy the seat only when you are allowed to see, or you should seek permission. Sir, may I? Then they will say, yes, please sit down. Then say thanks. You sit down. Then you be straight, erect, and be gracious while sitting. Wear a smile always on your face. That is very important. You need not be, you should, not that you should be laughing at people, but wear a smile. Wear a decent smile on your face always. Look at the board, look at the members of the interview board, into their eyes, straight into their eyes, but don't stare at them. Don't give a feeling that this guy is staring at me. No, please. You should be looking at them. You should look at their eyes. Maintain the eye contact throughout the interview. Answer when you are asked. Don't hesitate while answering. Answer in complete sentences. Unfortunately, if you don't know a particular question, be confident enough to tell them, sir, sorry, I don't know the answer. Be very specific and frank, and be confident, be bold. And always remember, it is not a question answer session. It is not an effort to identify your areas of unreading, your areas of ignorance. The intention of the board is never to probe your areas of ignorance. Their intention must always be to probe your areas of knowledge. So if you have the knack, you can lead the board into your areas of knowledge. A question comes, the way you answer that, you can ensure that it will prompt them for a further question on the same subject. So it is your ability also lead them into your areas of knowledge, which you can try. You can practice and you can achieve that. But then always, the whole purpose is that it is after all an interview. Somebody is asking questions. It is always possible that a few questions will come which you may not be able to answer. Don't be concerned about it. Don't be disappointed at that. And if it is a difficult question, don't try to procrastinate. Don't try to give vague answers and things like that. Be very, very specific. If you don't know beyond a particular point, you tell them, sir, this much only I know about this subject. I don't know anything more than this, sorry. Then, they will also do whatever you have said, they must be satisfied or whatever it is. Then they will get into another topics, which will give you enough opportunities to express yourself. But ability to express yourself is more important. And then they should also, and you should also know what you are saying is coherent, what you are saying is convincing. That is what you should practice in an interview. And then be polite always. Be polite. Be firm but polite. Never get into an argument with the interview board. Even if they ask you a very inconvenient question, don't get involved. You should never get involved in an argument with the interview board. You should always be attentive, polite, and agreeable. So that will leave an impression. So once you follow these tips, once you ensure these things in an interview, I am very sure you will have a very, very satisfying experience in an interview. So with adequate preparation, I would say preparation and practice. With adequate preparation and practice, an interview like a written test will prove to be very easy for you. So that is how you should approach the interview and the test. Now I have briefly mentioned a little about the banking opportunities once you secure the bank's job. Now, I can narrate any number of anecdotal experiences which I had in the bank, but then it is all, it could be different for different individuals. But one thing I tell you, because bank gives you the opportunity for working in an office, in a desk work and also field work. So let us see both these things available in the bank, field work as well as office work, desk work, which some people, some job opportunities will give you only desk work, some opportunities will give you field work, but a combination of these two is available in the banking career only in a great manner. And field work, as I mentioned earlier, need not be confined to your home territory, your familiar ground. It could be to any place in India or abroad. That opportunity also a banking job will give you. So it must be a highly rewarding experience. I am very sure a banking career can be very rewarding by career growth with other opportunities. In fact, I don't have to mention anything about what financial benefits and other physical benefits which a banking job offers you, which is common knowledge, all of us know. It's a very secure job and it's a very lucrative job, good salary, good perquisites, good social respect, all those things come with the bank's job. So it is a comfortable job, so one should aspire for that and one should work hard for that. So and nowadays, for people like, for aspiring candidates, the help and support from organizations, institutions like ICD is also very much available nowadays. So make a good choice, make a career decision well in advance in your life. Don't delay it till the last moment. Decide sufficiently early, maybe in the final year itself of your degree course, you decide that yes, I am going to pursue the banking career very seriously. Start preparing, and once you complete your course, enroll yourself in a good coaching center like ICD. Take their help, be sustained in your efforts, be focused in your efforts, apply yourself, read, prepare and practice, and the job will be yours.